So, it's December 1st, 2024. It is the first time, well, this is, I'm like, what, 7 videos in, or 7 podcasts in to this new channel of mine. So it is my first ever Christmas. Actually, it's going to be my first Christmas as well for the other channel. So, but anyways, here we are. This is the first Christmas, December 1st, right? So instead of doing an advent calendar and stuff like that, I actually want to talk about the advent calendar later on. Not this podcast or not this session, but maybe another session sometime afterwards. But I want to talk about communication styles here, because I feel like one of the biggest communication styles, like, and then I'm talking mostly about love languages right now, right? I'm talking mostly about the love languages, because there is like the different types of love languages. Like, and let me just pull it up real quick, because, like, you know, like I'm very much of a goober, and I don't often have these planned out. Love languages. I'm just pulling it up. There's 5 different love languages from what it does, from what I've seen and what I've seen from like online, which are like, number 1, words of affirmation, acts of service, there's quality time, there's physical touch, there's receiving gifts, which is the main one that I want to talk about today. And there is, and I think that's it. Then receiving gifts, that's the 5th one. And that's the main one that I want to talk about today, because this is the time of gift giving, right? And I want to know about, like, hey, like, what kind of gifts, like, are you receiving a lot of gifts? Do you often know what the gifts like that you want? Do you give people like a wish list of gifts, and then you want that to, like, that for people to give that to you? And what happens when they don't give that to you? Do you get sad? Do you know, like, when someone doesn't give you the gift on their wish list, or it's a gift that you didn't really think is good because, like, it's like, you know, it's not something that you want? Do you feel like still, you know, like, do you feel like it's a good enough, you know? Like, and that's what I want to know. Like, how do you view a gift that is obviously given to you, that it's not to your liking? So how do you see that? Do you think that that's in, like, you know, they tried, or like, oh no, they didn't even try and stuff like that? Like, do you feel it that way? Because this is where this whole aspect, this last bit, like the 5th one right here, receiving gifts, I want to talk about, because there's obviously multiple different languages that you can, you know, that you can feel appreciated and confirmed, that, like, you know, and validated and stuff. But what if this isn't the main way that you, or one of the ways that you recognize being appreciated, right? What if receiving gifts is not the way that you feel appreciated? Like, for me, I don't really care too much about gifts, right? I've never one time thought about, like, oh, hey, a gift is, like, you know, the way that you can communicate your affection to me. Go ahead, like, you know, oh, you care about me, here's it, like, I care about you, here's a gift. I've never ever seen it that way. Number 1, I'm very, very awkward when it comes to people giving me gifts. I'm like, oh, thanks, but also I didn't really need it, but I know that maybe this is the way that you show affection, and you show that you care, you know, like, you show that you validate, like, hey, you know, like, this is how I show I care, and that's actually the main way, and I accept it that way. But please also accept the fact and recognize the fact that because it's not mine, I don't know how to I don't know how to receive it well. Like, I can receive it well, but I'm awkward about it. You know, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, you know, thank you so much for this. Like, I know that you spent a lot of time and effort and obviously money to getting this gift for me. Thank you so much. You know, that's it. Like, you know, there's no like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, this was really what I wanted. Like, I don't do that stuff, because I buy my own things. I feel like, you know, I'm self sufficient. I'm self-sustaining. So I just go ahead and buy the things that I want at the time that I want it, because that's what I feel that I am taking care of myself, treating myself to something that I want. So that's me giving myself some encouragement, giving myself my self gratification kind of thing, like all those things, right? So I give that to myself, and I'm okay with it. So I have very few things, or none at all, that I ask for in terms of gifts. So for me, there's no such thing as like a thoughtful gift, quote unquote, because I've already gotten everything that I've ever wanted. And that might sound very rude to a lot of people. They're like, I can't believe it, they thought about it. That is for sure. I'm not invalidating that. I'm saying that that's not the way that I see appreciation, you know? because there's different communication styles, and we're going to talk about it. And specifically for gift giving, because this is the month of gift giving. So that's, I don't feel it, right? I don't feel it the same way as other people would. And I know that that's rude to the person that is their main communication style, right? And that's why I'm appreciative of it, but it's still something that I have to consciously think about, being like, this is the way that they show that they care. And I understand that. So I have to tell them thank you, and I accept it, and not have to do anything more than that, you know, and show them. And I'm like, for me, I'm one of those people that is very difficult to buy something for, because I have everything. So I always tell my friends, my family, like all my cousins, like, do you have a wish list? Like, no, like, it doesn't really matter. So I tell my family, just give me like hoodies. I love hoodies. Like, you can never go wrong with a hoodie. A hoodie is a very functional piece of clothing. By the way, I think a hoodie is the most functional piece of clothing possible. I think it is. Like, I don't think there's any other clothing that's more functional than a hoodie. Maybe a poncho, but a hoodie has everything. It can be a zip up and all that. Anyways, I'm getting ADHD'd right now. So I tell them, my close my close circle, my close loved ones, is that like, hey, guess what? Just give me a hoodie. I don't care too much and all that stuff. You know, like, and all that. But because that's not my main language, I also don't give good presents. I'll tell you a story. Back when I had a partner, for a long period of time. I had a partner for close to 7 years. So we were in a relationship for that long, and not a single time did I ever give a like thoughtful gift, because I was always like going through the interwebs, being like, what is a good gift to give your significant other? Like, what is it? And like, even though I gave the worst presents possible, she always thought that it was like, oh, thank you so much. And like, you know, they were very appreciative of it, because that was their the language that they recognize, and that was their main one to show affection and share appreciation, right? So that was theirs, but that was not mine. I still tried to do it, right? I still did my best to do it, but I'm not good at it, right? So I'm not good at it. Let's just put it to you that way. And I want to know who is good at it. Like, which one of you is good at it, and do you recognize that? And do you feel that it is something that other people around you are doing well during this year? Because it might not seem like people are getting you the best gifts and whatnot. Like for myself, I don't get the best gifts possible. All I do is I give money. I give money to my family, and I give money to my family, like legitimately, like my sister, my father, and my mother. All I do is that, hey, I know that I give the worst presents. I don't say that, but they know it. They've known me since I was born. Like, I know that I don't give presents. I'm just gonna give you money equivalent to how much I would have spent no matter what to you, and you can do it yourselves. And they know that that's like the way that I show it, even though it's not thoughtful at all. For me, it is thoughtful, right? In my head, it's thoughtful, because I know that's how they feel, that they're receiving the care and appreciation, even though I'm not going thoughtful and stuff like that. I did be thoughtful, saying that I am very, very unqualified to buy you a present that it will make it seem that you were, you know, that you feel like loved and validated. Go ahead and buy it yourself. And maybe that's a cop-out, maybe it is, but they're my family, you know, like, I will just do that. So I know that that's what they wanted, so that's what I do. For other people, obviously, like, I make sure I try my best to, like, oh, maybe they like this. So like, for example, my best friend, they like Lego, and like, you know, like, I will give them Lego, but I don't know which Lego they already have. They have multiple Legos. So how do I know that that's that's something that like they don't already have? I don't want them to give them a double, right? So I just buy, like, you know, whatever's new. Hopefully they don't have it and stuff like that, and then just go, right? So like, that's one way, but I don't like consciously do that, because mine is I just say, like, Mine is usually just acts of service or words of affection. Those are it, right? So like I will help you out with whatever you need. Like, I'll help you fix your car, or get you a new PC built setup, or give you some financial advice and stuff like that. But I can't. I can't give you a gift. Like, if you plan, like, dang, okay, there you go. But that's what I mean. So after all that rambling, have you ever had a situation where you didn't feel like the other person gave you the gift that you wanted? And that's to recognizing that maybe your main communication skill, communication mode for care and affection is receiving gifts, and you're really good at it and you do your best at it, but the other person might not. But that might not be their one. So there might be a lot of miscommunication, and there is a lot of miscommunication in the time of gift giving and stuff like that, the time of Christmas and like other times where you have to give gifts, like birthdays and stuff, right? Because there's a lot of that miscommunication, and people have to understand that, number one, the receiver has to understand that that's the way that they probably don't know how to do it, and, you know, just talk to them about it, or like just accept the gift no matter what, because they did try their best. Or just like have a conversation with them, being like, hey, guess what, like, you know, that was very nice and stuff like that. You know, like, I don't know how you're gonna talk to them about it, but if you know them well enough, right, then hopefully you can talk to them about it. I had a coworker one time that their significant other is terrible at buying gifts, and it was always a talk in the office where like the last time, one story was that their significant other, they knew that they liked like skincare routines and all that stuff. That was what my coworker had. They love skincare routines. So what their partner gave them was that they gave them a shower cap, right? A shower cap to keep the hair away from their face as they're doing their skincare routine. I feel like that is a fantastic gift. I do. For me, like, that's functional. I can't believe it. That's a crazy functional. You know, you can do so much with it. You can put your hair in the shower cap. You can use it for shower, and you can use it so that you can have a proper skincare routine. Maybe they realized they didn't have a shower cap. Maybe that was the thing. They're looking at the washroom. They're like, or the bathroom. I say washroom because I'm in Canada. They looked at the bathroom. They're like, oh goodness, they don't have a shower cap. Maybe this is a really good thing. And they got them the shower cap thinking that that was going to be a good thing, and yet it was like a really bad thing. So for them, at least, because they were talking smack about it in a jokingly way, but you know that that's talking smack, right? It's talking smack about it in a joking way in the office, being like, you know what my partner gave me for Valentine's Day one day? A shower cap. I'm like that, and then we were laughing about it. Everybody was laughing about it. And like, even though we were laughing about it, that was there was their effort to get them something, because they knew they wanted a gift, right? They knew that they wanted a gift, and that's it. They're doing their best. That is the thoughtful thing that happened, because for people that don't know how to buy gifts, we do not have that motor skill. We don't have that drive to being like, this is something that would be so thoughtful. I've seen them not have this. I've seen them complain over and over again about this. Like, this has got to be a thing. This is, you know, we don't have that. We're just looking at it like, cool. Like, you know, this is another gift. Maybe they'll appreciate this. That's it. That's all that goes in our heads. It's not a malice thing. It's not the fact that we don't care. It's legitimately the fact that we don't have that muscle in our brain that goes burr when it's like, it's time to buy a gift, right? It's time to buy a gift. We're going to get the best one. Another time that same coworker with their same partner, they saw, and this was not even just a, you know, a holiday, right? Not a birthday, not anything at all. This was just a random time. And I think my coworker said that they were very cold in the office, right? Because there was one stint back a couple of years ago that the heater didn't work. So there was a lot of like it was really cold in the office, and our offices are beside windows, so like without a heater, and we have like floor to ceiling windows, it gets really cold, especially in Canada. So it gets really, really cold. They said that like I was cold, like, you know, it's always cold in my office. And then they bought them a industrial heater, the one that mechanics use so that they can thaw a car, right? They bought them an industrial heater. An industrial heater. Now for me, that's a bit too far gone. I feel, even for me, that's a bit too far gone. Number one, they're very expensive, an industrial heater compared to just a space heater. But they're looking at it like, this is super expensive. If this can heat up a car, then that means it can heat up a room very, very efficiently, right? Everything is all about function. They've solved the situation of, hey, my office is very, very cold. They've solved that situation. They've solved that issue with their industrial heater that heats up cars. That way they thaw. That seems very, very good. But in their head, they're like, when will I ever use this industrial heater? It probably draws so much power and all that stuff. But they weren't caring about that. They cared about fixing the problem or fixing the issue of, I see that my significant other is dreading the fact that it's cold at work. I'm going to try to get them the most efficient way to heat up an office in the shortest amount of time. And that's what they thought about. Right? You know, like that's thoughtful. I think that's thoughtful. That's how my brain was wired, but maybe that's not it. Maybe they wanted something like, you know, maybe jewelry or something different, but that's something that I don't know. I don't know that. You've never had an interest in jewelry. How am I supposed to know that that was a thing? I have no clue. Right? So that's what I mean by having miscommunications when it comes to gift giving. Because it is still, no matter what, it's a skill for sure. It is a skill to learn, but it's also a communication style that some people are not proficient in because that they're bad at it, but also they're not really acclimated to it. They're not attuned to it. They don't think that it's a communication style that they have to get better at, because there's other communication styles that they're more acclimated to. They're more attuned to, right? So that's what they would kind of go to, right? They might give you the worst present ever, right? Like let's say one of your, like a dad's, usually on an average basis, right? I'm just talking about general averages here, okay? On an average basis, usually men give the worst gifts, right? On an average, right? Because they're very logic based. But because they're provider based, again, saying in averages, right? On a general average, they're provider based. So they would give, instead of giving you a really good gift, they'll say, hey, let me like, you know, let me clean your car, or hey, let me go ahead and help you with your errands, like you know, let me go ahead and fix your bathroom or something. They'll do that for you, and that to them is like, I'm helping out, right? So it might not be the gift that you're looking for in the holidays, but because you wanted something like, you know, a physical object, but it is the gift that they're giving to you. And that is really good, because not many people give gifts. So yeah, hopefully you have a fantastic start of December, and that's the end of the episode. Sorry for the rambling. Bye.